What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Happy Sunday. Is it Memorial Day weekend? I don't remember. I just know I have the day off tomorrow. I want to say it's Memorial Day weekend. Either way, it's a 3-day weekend. So hoping everyone's having a great weekend. Today, we are going to be diving back into some design work. We're going to be continually trucking on with the Dreadnought, the Dark Knight, Black Knight, Blackguard, anti-paladin sort of character fantasy, trying to bring this class into 5e. So last time we worked on this, we actually got the basis of the class pretty much set out with thanks to friend of the channel, Terran Pounds, also known as Indestructible Boy. He came in and gave some awesome feedback on a couple ideas I had, so which gave us a really strong starting point for this class. This class is a half caster with a different kind of casting mechanic that comes online at 2nd level. So in order to actually be able to cast spells, the entire point is to be aggressive, is to attack, to cause some sort of disadvantage against your enemies, to generate devilry points, and then you use those devilry points to cast spells. So unlike the other half casters or just in general spellcasters in 5e currently, where they just have a set number of spell points, you actually have to be active and do the thing, be the frontliner you're intended to be in order to cast spells. So far we'll go glance over the features that we have that are going to be the basis of the class. First, we have Dreadblow. This is going to be your bread and butter attack option. So whenever you make a melee attack, and I believe with some feedback suggested to focus on strength, because that is one of the big elements of this class, is to be this big frontliney aggressive class. So as long as you're making a melee attack using strength, you can choose to begin concentrating. As a concentrating on a spell, cursing it with dread, you do not make constitution saving throws to maintain concentration on this curse as a result of taking damage. So whenever you hit this creature, the creature is frightened, but you are not the source of its fear. You just hit it so hard that it is afraid. So when it suffers the frightened condition, it has disadvantage on I believe attack rolls and ability checks, as long as you're within its sight, or within its line of sight. But since you're not the source of its fear, it just suffers the negative consequences of frightened without you needing to be in the line of sight. Then also, as it's cursed with dread, its movement speed is cut in half. So it pretty much it's so afraid of what's going on that it can't really move. What's going on, Nick? Where I'm just going over what we have so far of the class before we dive in and start working on some new stuff. After that, also at level 1, you're gonna get no rest for the wicked. So this allows you to keep trucking. You're gonna keep going. You can keep pushing yourself. You ignore the negative effects of exhaustion other than death. So you don't really worry about needing to take a rest, suffering exhaustion effects, which plays really well into as soon as we get into the 2nd level, which is as soon as we get into dark arts. So dark arts, like I said, in order to generate your spell points, or pretty much devilry points, is what I'm calling them now, is that you need to successfully hit an enemy with an attack, drop a hostile creature to 0 points, cause an enemy to roll with disadvantage, or a creature begins their turn cursed by you, you gain a devilry point. So that's another little caveat that we added at the for devilry points gain to play nice with Dreadblow. So then, in order to cast spells, you need to spend at least one. You need to spend devilry points equal to 1 plus the spell's level, and then so on. So the only other change we made, or to standard spellcasting outside of how you get spell points or devilry points, is your spellcasting focus. As long your melee weapon is also your spellcasting focus, so that is in there. And also we gained fighting styles last week too. So we have defense, we have dueling, we have another one called Doomfist, which is giving you unarmed fighter or unarmed fighting, and to some extent, but also this is so that any feature that you're using that normally it just says, "Oh, when you're making a melee attack with a weapon," Doomfist will allow you to continue to do that. So it's a workaround that there we could possibly code things in a way so that we don't have to write that little this little line here. Your unarmed strikes can benefit from any features or spells that affect melee weapons and can deal bludgeoning damage, like that part. But there is going to be we might work on that today, some spells. I do want to get in some features on what kind of we're expecting and needing to do. But also might just jump into doing some spells that I want to make for the class, as well as maybe look at potentially what the setup for a subclass should be, or what I envision it to be on how we play this class. All right, on top of that, we have great weapon fighting if you want to just wield a chunky two-hander. And then also for those that want to play a sword and board, one-hander and a shield, there is protection. So you still are going to be this frontliner, team-oriented character, but your main thing is going to be causing negative effects onto enemies. So that is on a single target too. That is kind of like the main thing. So it'll be it's a debuffer in a lot of ways, an aggressive debuffer, whereas the paladin is a buffer that tries to buff the. This is going to be the complete opposite in its playstyle. We're going to find a character, single it out, and debuff it, and just go to town. And still, by debuffing pretty much the main threat, the scariest threat on the board, you're going to help your teammates. And not to say that we can't have some sort of area effect later on that allows us to even play a greater debuffing role. But yeah, this class is intended to be more proactive. All right, so also at second level we get ill-gotten gains, which will help play into like gives a reason why No Rest for the Wicked is at first level. So we have you can spend, as a bonus action, you can spend your Dreadnought hit die in order to get your maximum amount of different points for that level you're at. So you can immediately, it's like, okay, turn one, you really need to fire off a spell. Boom. Okay, at second level, you can just pop a hit die, get all the points you need, and then just immediately cast. So there is that. So it still gives you an option. You're going to be using your life resource to do so. And that'll be that. So then after this, as we look into the levels, third level, we're going to get our subclasses. I still haven't found like a cool name to put these all in. And so I'm still struggling. I am open to all suggestions. Because yeah, naming stuff or grouping stuff and trying to find unique ways to group and name them that hasn't really been taken before is a little tough. So for subclasses, originally I was going to call them Eldritch Orders or Profane Orders. I was going to call them something, but Orders is already used by the Blood Hunter, and I don't really want to do that. It's because I saw this more as a knightly, like a corrupted knight orders that you're joining to fight. But now I'm sort of rethinking how to portray or think how we label the subclasses, because the whole point is that you are using forbidden power that you shouldn't be using to enhance your melee capabilities, your martial capabilities. So I was thinking like naming them something like that plays around with the idea that they're forbidden powers, and maybe naming subclasses power of the What's going on, Steven? So think it's something like this, maybe for subclass names. Forbidden powers. And then you go power of the blank. So I'm gonna, unless you guys have cooler ideas on how to like brand the subclass, then I'll just keep working on it. So looking at the rest of the layout of what we kind of need for the class, I went down what the classes sort of get, and then also like a basic chassis. I think Cult of the Orcs for that fantasy, well, that wouldn't be bad. Power of the blank. Dragonzord power. Colts. You can do Colts. Ooh, that's an interesting idea. Subclasses branded are curses. I didn't think about that. The only thing I'm worried about with the curses thing is there is what's it called? It's Ross Leiser's Accursed class also does that. All his classes are like all the subclasses are based off of like different curses that your character has and is using to empower themselves, weaponizing their curse. And then, so this is branded of blank. Yeah, because the big difference between this and say something like the Accursed and something like the Warlock who potentially can play into this like Dark Knight trope, or like if you mix Warlock with Paladin, is I want to give you the player the option to either play that narrative that this forbidden power could be considered a curse that they're trying to work through and either weaponize or get rid of by the end of the adventure, or your character specifically sought this power out because they had no other option. Right, so pretty much give the player the freedom to choose which narrative they're really going to play with, while certain classes like the Accursed is very specific in that no, your character is cursed and you're weaponizing it because you have to deal with it. This one is like a little bit more fluid. Darksiders. One true donut. What's going on, guys? Seeing you guys all trickle in. I guess this is the way you could say it. It is somewhat of a spell swordish sort of character. This is playing in the realm of Magus, except with the fantasy trope of Black Knights, Dark Knights, Blackguards, and Anti-Paladin-esque brands. I'm liking the brand idea too. But yeah, branding might, Steven brings up a good point. Brand might draw more comparisons with Bloodhunter. So that's why I originally was going to go Eldritch Orders. But then again, Bloodhunter has orders already. Because knights are knightly orders. So it did really make sense that, I should probably call these orders because you're becoming a Helm Knight. You're becoming a Death Knight, etc. You're playing into that kind of trope. So I looked at Paladin. The reason why I was like, okay, well, how are other classes sort of branding or sort of putting their pretty much branding or collecting the subclasses, how they're placing the narrative. And then I realized Sacred Oaths for Paladin, which was interesting because it's your ideology that is sort of making up what kind of paladin you are. I was like, okay, well, instead of like just being like these archetypes or this specific kind of, you're part of this order that you're following. That's when I kind of landed on, well, your character's obtaining forbidden power. They're using forbidden power. So maybe that's how I should like brand these things, so something I come back to. But yeah, cults, cabal, or other ideas that I had in the past when I was looking at Blackguard. when this class originally was going to be a black card. So at 5th level, obviously we're getting extra attack, but there is also potential for another upgrade feature, which I may cut because I believe at this level we also get 2nd level spells. So it's most likely not going to be needed that we need another class feature at this point. And if it is going to be some sort of upgrade, it might be something really minor. Then we jump to 7th level, we'll get another feature. And from what it's looking like, the biggest comparison we can look at is Ranger and Paladin, because they're also half caster classes. Is that around this level, they get some sort of defensive or survival buff feature. So Ranger gets Land Stride. So this one's a little bit minor. It's not hindered by difficult terrain. Again, they're not hindered by difficult terrain and have advantage against saving throws against magical entanglements that are mainly plant-based, but that's pretty much the general idea. And then you have Paladin, super Omega aura protection that just gives themselves and everybody around them charisma bonus to saving throws. So very different things on the power scale. I would say Rangers will excel in specific circumstances. There's still very much like, okay, this is exploration or just movement based, which movement isn't always an active thing in 5e as much as it could be. Mainly in combat, it can't. Everybody sort of turtles in, while Paladin is always active. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You need to make a saving throw, bam. As long as you're around the Paladin, it's always on. So some sort of survival defensive feature is probably what we're going to look at for 7th level. Then at 9th, we're getting another utility or survival S feature. Rangers have hide in plain sight, able to stealth really good, pretty much. And then Paladins get another aura. So this is Aura of Courage, and you and your friends can't be frightened while you are conscious. All right. So at 11th level, there's going to be an upgrade feature. This is just going to be straight up like aggressive upgrade feature for your attacks. So this might be a dread, a blow upgrade right specifically here, or just something that helps facilitate more aggressive attacking. Or maybe even a slight bump to our spellcasting. It's just going to be something here. Or maybe something that merge the two right here. Okay, at 13th level, then we're going to get a feature upgrade. This is probably going to be a dread blow upgrade. Hide in plain sight, does that protect from aerial surveillance or scrying from other layers of existence? Nope. All right here. Hey. Add charisma to damage rolls. Probably not going to be that. So the one thing we did move away from is using charisma as like a stat, as like its main stat. So what I think I'm going to play with these subclasses, while naturally this class should probably have some sort of charisma, what we did with the spell casting is that it is a concaster. So it does make it a little different than everybody else. But the very fact that you have to generate your spells, and then you can also use your hit die to generate your spell points, and you also are a frontliner, it makes it a little bit more viable to do that. So we did move away from charisma. What I'm thinking of doing though is that subclasses will help you kind of pick a third stat in a way to kind of supplement your skill set. So when we go to here, I can easily say Hell Knight is going to be like your third stat. You probably want to like slot into your stuff, like for pretty much social situation stuff is going to be like charisma right here. And then a third stat for maybe Spellbreaker would be like intelligence, because you're pretty much just a mage slayer right here. So, and that'll be based off of like skills and stuff that you're that I'm gonna put into these. We could, but the problem right here, Dreadblow. Dreadblow curses people with dread, which is going to be our... We want to give you frightened, but we don't want to necessarily do the... turn your feature off, frightened. You're cursing people with dread. So they still will be affected by frightened, but also there is a movement hindrance on this. So no matter what, even if the frightened effect doesn't happen, because the creature is immune to frightened, their movement at least is hindered at this point. So yeah, so there is that. And yeah, I've had discussion regarding devilry points. While the word devil leans towards like obviously fiend-ish sort of sources, devilry also means maliciousness, and is also a novel way to classify like black magic, dark magic. So hence why I went that way, because it's like, okay, it is another word used in that vernacular in that same sense. Believe me, we went through a lot of I went through a lot of different names, like just trying to figure out a solid name. So we're sticking with devilry right now. If I can find another name that is a little bit possibly neutral, then I will go with that. So where we go, where are we at? We're looking at, and then okay. So what we're supposed to be doing, this is probably going to be Dreadblow upgrade here. We either do Dreadblow upgrade. Yeah, that's most likely going to be that. And then at level 15, it looks like most of these classes have like a new action, a new ability that they kind of get at this level. So Rangers, they can hide as a bonus action. Paladins can use action and one spell on themselves or a willing creature. So there's just something else that they can do that a part of their action economy. And then obviously at 8th level, we're going to get an upgrade to our power. And then at 20th level, we'll have a class capstone. And then when I want to get this out before 1D&D comes out, when 1D&D comes out, I will revisit this a little bit, since I'm already following the subclass progression for this. All it is about reshuffling certain things so that we can have the capstone at 18th level and just move some stuff around. So it's not gonna be that much of a actual change. So yeah, and then in terms of what we're sort of expecting for subclasses and their scaffolding, this is kind of what I'm looking at. So we have the Death Knight, or in general, they're going to get an expanded spell list that is thematic to the subclass. We're going to get some skill proficiencies that are also thematic, and then we're going to get some, most likely, something that interacts with Dreadblow in some way. And then some other core features, and then a capstone kind of feature. Most likely some defensive or utility. Okay, so let's put this. Defense or utility feature, and most likely a third level feature. Eldritch Bound. See, Bound wouldn't be bad, but it also makes it seem that a spirit or some sense is binding something, is by like we're bounded to another being or something else. You know what I mean? Which would make the subclass feature forbidden bondage? Oh my god, no. Oh no. All right, give me a sec. I just need to run to the restroom really quick. I had way too much water. I say drink your water, folks. Drink your water. It's good for you. But just sucks when you're trying to stream because, you know, gotta just run to it. And also, if you notice, chat is a little different this time. I don't know what happened with Stream Elements, but it pretty much like got like all borked up the last stream when I was covering Tales of the Valiant. And so I found a really quick workaround to just put YouTube chat up. So hopefully this works. And it's maybe a little easier to read. All right. So flavor somewhere between Paladin and Warlock. I thought this was the fantasy you were going for. My bad. Okay. So in general, the fantasy I'm intended to do, because it is definitely a Dark Knight, Black Knight fantasy. You are a martial warrior that uses forbidden magic to empower their martial capabilities. That is the general thing. You see this a lot in like characters like in video games. Dante from Devil May Cry, he is another like a perfect example of this. He pretty much has a devil blood and he uses it to shoot guns and slash people up. Let's see, another example. I think Venom would be another example of this from comics. He uses the symbiote to be a hero, a forbidden power that he shouldn't have. Spawn is another one I can say is definitely that. And then in another video game in Soul Calibur, you have characters like Nightmare, which was Siegfried in the original Soul Edge game, who has become corrupted, and as he throughout the story he ends up willing it to do good stuff and getting rid of that dark power. And Jin, again from Tekken, is another example of this sort of kind of like character. They have some sort of dark power, but Jin weaponizes it for good and fights his dad. So, fights Kazuya, who has the devil gene also, but is very evil. So there's that. It's kind of playing with that trope. And the biggest thing is like I always want to center the classes I build on still your character being a hero. So this is still definitely team oriented. The themes, the narrative for this fantasy is that you're using evil power similar to a warlock, but you're still trying to do the right thing. But unlike the warlock where you answer to a patron, you answer to somebody higher for your power. This power is either stolen, you took it some way, and you only answer to yourself. But at the same time, what's the level of sacrifice on yourself to wield and use that power? This is be a douchebag the class. No, it's not gonna be douchebag the class. So yeah, so that is mainly the big things that I'm trying to aim for the class, because without multi-classing, there isn't a class currently in the 5e like standard set of classes that really allow you to play that heavily armored magical Dark Knight class. The closest thing you can get to it is You can do a Hexblade that sort of lets you do it, but you don't have that heavily armored aspect. And then you also have like, what is it? Which Paladin subclass? Is Conquest Paladin and Oathbreaker are attempting to fill that sort of niche, but you're still a Paladin using divine magic. So yeah, very much a anti-hero class. And there's just a lot of, like, in general, if you look at the subclasses, just bam, like, there's a lot of these tropes in various media that you can just pull from. Hell Knights, Death Knights, characters that use shadow, literal darkness to help fight. Those that use pretty much like vampiric powers to fight. And then you got like Spellbreaker. This is more inspired by Dragon Age of all things too, because Dragon Age is like you have these a lot of the magic users. Magic is kind of forbidden and needs to be contained, else it literally breaks the setting. So you have what are they? Pretty much they're the magic knights that have to take on a bit of that magic to fight, and also there are the Grey Wardens who have to take on a bit of the evil orcish-esque people, take on a bit of their darkness to actually help fight against them. So Spellbreaker's addictive magic crystals confirmed. And so yeah, so we have that, these subclasses. Yeah, DA Inquisitor, yep. Yeah, and exactly, like the Inquisitor from Dragon Age is another thing. They have that mark on their hand, and they're pretty much having to use it to wield it to actually fight against the very thing that they have on them. Dragon Age Inquisition is probably one of my favorite games. I'm looking forward to the next one. But it just seems like a lot of the RPGs I liked, because they either had turn-based or strategy, they're shifting towards a more action-oriented system, which is a little frustrating. I just pre-purchased Final Fantasy 16 for $75. $75. I don't know why games are costing so damn much. It is frustrating. But also Final Fantasy 16 is going through an action-oriented combat system, and Dragon Age Dreadwolf is going to do the same thing, so it's like frustrating. Inquisitor's a Rift Knight Dreadnought. That is true. Ooh. Esoteric knowledge. Yeah, esoteric. Forbidden knowledge. Profane knowledge. Oh. Profane Diablerie. Ooh. Profane Diablerie. Dark magic. Forbidden dark magic. Yeah. Pretty much that's what that means. Forbidden dark magic. That's forbidden. So Esoteric knowledge. The only reason I'm like, hold on, let's just do this. The only reason I'm only like skeptic of Diablerie, because it's not a word like people immediately know, right? It's just one of those like. So we're gonna go subclass names for forbidden powers, profane Diablerie, esoteric knowledge. Oh, right. What's going on, Krieg? We're trying to figure out subclass grouping names. Forbidden powers? No, forbidden power. Do that. Trying to figure out what to group them as, just because that. But I might For class features, I'm actually a little dry right now of like what I'm wanting, but I definitely kind of, we might work on some spells, because there are some spells that I want to add into the game for this. Forbidden Profane, illicit dark superpowers. What will the subclass mean? What do you mean, what will the subclass mean? Wait, we need some magic. Well, just pull up D&D Beyond. Come on, man. Hello? Come on, you can do it. Small indie company. Wizards of the Coast, small indie company. Can't get their website to load, it's fine. Alright, here we go. Oh, thank you for picking up Luchador. Hope you really enjoy it. We are actually inching close to silver. So we get silver. We might take a little break on Dreadnought to do some more subclasses and because another goal, considering our buddy Indestructible Boy is also the layout person behind the Luchador, and he is one of the official people that you can choose, like you can have. He's pre-approved so that if you want to do a book on demand version of your stuff, as long as he's one of the ones that worked on the layout, I can do that. So if we get to silver, I could come up with at least 18 pages of content. We can get a print on demand Luchador book. Just means I gotta get way more freaking art. I have some more subclass. I have at least 3 other subclasses I want to do for Luchador. And then what else? And then obviously the easy way to do some magic items and some NPC stat blocks, so people can just throw wrestlers at their party for DMs. So yeah, Steven hits it on the head. Daryl, for example, the fighter is the way you fight in your wizards or specialization. What will this subclass mean? Will it be a source of power or a way you use your power? So, and then Steven says subclass is based on the source of your forbidden power, where you're stealing your powers from. Yeah, where have you taken it? Where is the origin of it? And pretty much it is all forbidden. You're not supposed to have it in the first place. Thank you for the sub, Ricardo. Thank you. So, in terms of like outside of that narrative, all these subclasses are tropes, are your classic Dark Knight-esque tropes. So Death Knight, Blood Knight, Hell Knight, Shadow Knight, Space Knight, and a Mage Knight. So that'll be all those. Why isn't it a first level feature? Because 5e sucks. That's legitimately why. It's legitimately why. I would argue that every class in 5e should have their subclass at first level, but the power budget doesn't allow for that. And also because general design wise, for whenever it comes to 5e, we saw this in Tales of the Valiant, we're seeing this in 1D&D. They think it's too hard for a player to also have to pick their subclass if they have other choices they already have to pick at level 1. Edgy subclass knight, yeah, I know. That's so yeah, for me, it would very much be if I like even the Luchador, I will tell you this, I wanted the subclass to be at level 1 for that, because you have your mask. Mask is your entire identity. But in terms of power budget, we needed that to be at 3rd level. Because I could make the case for every class in the game that their subclass should come in at 1st level. A ranger is a member of a conclave. They understand a specific terrain. Why wouldn't they have that subclass at first level? You know, wizards should have their class at first level too. They specialize in a specific school of magic. This is like their expertise. And before they go adventuring, like that's their thing. They know this specific thing. Yeah, I get the mentality, but it really feels like there's a big push towards eliminating levels 1 to 2 for experienced players. Yeah, that's what it seems like. That's what I think is actually happening. It's like, okay, here's the training wheel levels for first and second for newer players, but if you're a brand new player, okay, just start at 3rd level. Or like you're you're a franchise player, you're an experienced player, just start at 3rd level. So yeah, this is why I prefer to start campaigns at 3rd level. I think every time we played 5e at this point, we never start at 1st level. We always start at 3rd. Everybody gets their subclass, and that's it. So yeah, I think there's definitely ways to do a subclass system where you get it at 1st level. Pathfinder, in some ways, has done this, but then again, not all classes in Pathfinder have subclass or a subclass-like feature. So, and really in Pathfinder 2nd edition, all the classes, you're playing the class, and if you do have a subclass-like feature, it adds a little bit of flavor and opens up some additional options for you. But it's not in the same way where a subclass is a large part of your character's identity, like in 5e. So that is also why Pathfinder can has more classes to fulfill fantasies and even niche fantasies, I would say. And while 5e, they don't expand their classes because some of those niches or tropes or narratives are shoehorned into the larger class chassis. So like in Pathfinder 2nd edition, you have the rogue, and then you have the swashbuckler class. But in 5e, you have the rogue with a swashbuckler subclass. So yeah, you have that. So that's one of those things to consider. But yeah, if I could put this at 1st level, like a subclass at 1st level, and have it all fit, then yeah, I would definitely would. I would do that with every class I can. But even then, if you're looking at other marshals and other half-casters, they don't have their class at 1st level either. And also, I'm trying to be forward thinking, right? So whenever 1D&D comes out, I still want this version of I still want there pretty much will be 2 versions out. It'll be like, I guess, 5e classic. I don't know what the hell we're gonna call it, but yeah, 5e classic, Tales of the Valiant version, and then we'll have 1D&D version. It will make it a lot easier to convert this to 1D&D later. Because in reality, okay, we're going to do this. Say where this is going to be a 1D&D version. This is going to go under the warrior chassis. On top of Dreadblow, no rest for the wicked. We'll put in the weapon whatever system that they put at level 1. Bam. Okay, boom. There's your character. And then we'll just move where it says Epic Boon here. Okay, we'll move some stuff around. Some classes already set because it follows the same chassis. Not that much of a a compatibility issue. Very, very easy to convert. And then if I look at the Luchador, I have much more work to do with that one to convert it to 1D&D if I wanted to. Yeah, Pathfinder's not afraid to spin things out, but it does come at the cost of complexity creep. Yep. It very much does. So there's I'm looking forward to the core update that they're doing, because it seems like they are looking back at like all the complexity issues that they have and the unclarity that they did have is currently in the game. And it seems like they're looking back at it and it's like, okay, how do we streamline it more? How do we clean it up? So I'm looking forward to whatever the core update whenever it releases. Yeah. So to answer your question, Daryl, Broken Yoda, I'm being lazy and just want to make sure that it fits for 2024. Doing double work, I don't got that kind of time. All right, so this is where we're at. This is where we're at with this. So, forbidden powers, profane diablerie, esoteric knowledge. But then how would we classify then we go cabals, cults. How did that one not? We can do cults. For me though, this leans, I'm gonna say the why. This leans religious. Spellcaster and religious. This is the kind of that we're going for. Cabals has some potential, like outside of game usage that, if not done properly and not used correctly, may be anti-Semitic, which is why I'm not a fan of using cabals. So that's why cabals is just getting out there. You just don't have to go there. Hot take: D&D Marshal should be getting more superhuman which levels to keep with casters. Barbarian does this. That's not a hot take. I think a lot of people feel that sentiment. I think the only ones that don't want superhuman marshals are those that don't really understand what 5e is supposed to be and actually prefer an older version of 5e or an older version of D&D, where marshals are, the game is more grounded, I guess is the best way to say it. The game is a lot more grounded. Marshals are not considered superhuman. But at that same time, okay, you already don't want to buy into what 5e is, where it's super heroic fantasy game where marshals should be super heroic, right? I think for me, marshals should definitely build towards that super heroicness a lot more and a lot sooner to keep up. But at the same time, there is an argument coming up that I agree with, that spellcasting is not balanced. The spells are not balanced to actually pretty much encourage classes to be balanced. Spells are not written in a balanced manner. So if they were to redo, if in reality what they should be doing at 1D&D is looking at spells and be like, yeah, we need to nerf like a lot of this stuff, because that's really where a lot of the power for the spellcasting classes are getting it. And this is why optimizers straight up just trash on marshals, is because spells are just too good in 5e. They're way too good. But also because there's no, it's very apparent there is actually no like set in stone design limits and expectations for spells in 5e. That's why you get stuff like Silvery Barbs to be released when it definitely is not within the balance range of a spell of that level. But also that's why in the base you get stuff like Shield, which definitely could be a higher level spell. And even in their own, like they admitted themselves, Fireball is specifically made to be overpowered. So that's the thing. It's like spells, even by their own admittance, even by wizards saying this, they're not balanced, period. So of course by clear efficiency and the level of power that spells have in their system, a caster will still outperform a marshal. Yeah. For me, it's not even the number of choices. I don't think the issue really is the number of choices that a character has to make. Like, the wizard is good, but the wizard is only good because of spells, right? That is it. That's the wizard's bag. It is only good because of spells, and spells are not made to be balanced. So if you balance spells, right? You balance the actual spell system and how spells work, and in general the effects of spells. How good will the wizard actually be at that point then? So yeah, I've seen this argument actually really come up, and it makes a lot of sense. Dreadnought Monk really brought it up when he was talking. He was being criticized regarding his 1D&D takes regarding marshals and the power level and power increases they have by who was it? Pack Tactics. But Pack Tactics is very spell forward, wants players to really just use spells because that is the most optimal, by the math, of the optimal way to play. But in a balanced system where it's not just game mechanics, where you are still trying to fulfill narrative and actual just gameplay, and not just trying to kill things out. Dreadnought Monk brought to the point, well, it's because it's not the fact that marshals really just suck. 1D&D is still bringing them up. It's because spells are not balanced. They just aren't. But I don't think players will like the fact that if wizards were to actually balance spells and drop the power level, I think there will be a massive uproar over that too. Just because the fan bases don't like when toys get taken away. Even if it's the right thing to do. Even if limiting the power, they'll be like, well, my class can't do XYZ anymore. It's like, well, your class shouldn't have done XYZ in the first place because they had access to these X, Y, and Z spells. They're only supposed to do X and Y, you know? So things to consider. I'm a martial main. I prefer playing martial classes. If I get the chance to play a martial, like a melee spellcaster martial, and it's like even better. Need to transfer development of barbarians of the coast to fix the issue. Yeah, you nerf my wizard. Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, we did. Okay, so reason I was gonna bring up D and Beyond, because we're going to, while I sit here and really try to think out what the hell kind of this one. Okay, cool. It is. Yeah. Excuse me, Wish and Simulacrum are perfectly fair. I don't think I've ever even played a game that has allowed or has gotten to the point where I can use Wish and Simulacrum, to be honest. That's why for me it's like that high level of theorycraft was like, well, at XY, like at these higher levels, this is what you can do. It's like, yeah, but realistically, how are we playing? Like, who's playing at these levels, and are they finally gonna actually support that high level play? Because I've never gotten there. Like, I've been playing 5e for quite some time too. Like, I still play multiple campaigns, homebrew and official books, and I've never ever played gotten to like level 20, level 18, etc. Like that high level game. Okay, so what I'm going to want to do for this, the plan is, well, we figure out what subclasses are going to be named. I I want to do look at some spells. I can do a 300 damage or 3,000 damage in one turn. I just need you to run a one shot for my level 21 Munchkin build and group 20 enemies with fire vulnerability together. Yeah. Like at that point, man, just play a video game, play a combat simulator. No joke. That's what like. That's not even tactical play. It's just like they want to fulfill a power fantasy, but also do that. I don't know. It feels very competitive with that mindset. Like I win D&D, I beat the DM sort of stuff. It's like, man, just some of us just want to tell cool stories and joke around with our friends. We ain't trying to do all that. Okay, let me raise this up. Okay. Oh, we're probably not. Why is I even be able to read? Whatever reason. So what I want to do for spells, because I actually wish they would do more of these, and I don't know why they stopped adding in melee spells into the game. I want to add more, not at a cantrip level either. I want to add in like leveled spells. So this is gonna be pretty much, we're gonna be drawing inspiration from video games, anime, everything. So I want the Blackguard to have some spells that they will be able to use and spend their devilry points on, instead of, just the standard, we're just going to give them access to like burning hands and etc. Originally, I was going to give the Blackguard access to cantrips to open up some utility, but mainly to allow them to cast Booming Blade and Green Flame Blade. But I'm still not sure if we are putting this on the DM's Guild, if I plan on putting it in the DM's Guild, or I'm going to go through Drive-Thru RPG for this one, or maybe just put it up eventually. I've been wanting to have a website for the channel for a very long time. Maybe do something like that too, where I have a store where you guys can just buy directly from there. Who knows? But yeah, I've been wanting to I want to add spells. So the first one we're going to do is Clim Hazard. This is straight ripped out from Final Fantasy VII. It is Cloud Strife's one of his limit breaks. I believe it is one of his limit breaks in Smash Brothers, Smash Brothers Ultimate. I think he was in Ultimate, right? I don't know. Too many damn Smash Brothers games. We're going to make a fisting spell, a Falcon Punch spell. That'd be pretty sick. So the reason I'm bringing up Blooming Blade is because after they errated, there are certain like range issues. The way they rewrote the words. Location. Casting time, we're gonna go instant, right? Or one action. Casting time, one action. One action, instantaneous over here. They don't have. Oh wow, they don't have duration on. Why don't they have duration? What is wrong with you? Why? Oh, okay. There it is. Like instantaneous. What the heck? gonna go mad. Instantaneous. So with Booming Blade, they has like, ooh, that'd be sick. Any chance we could adapt Gambit's explosive touch into a spell? Ooh. Is Daryl still in there? I believe he actually, I want to say, if I can remember, he might have done that with his psychic. There's a lot of like his inspiration was actually coming from X-Men, and I think he has that in a class feature, or he has a psychic spell for it. I wouldn't mind that though. Do something. We could do something. Well, the class have Eldritch Knight's War Magic. That is the one where you can cast a spell and then as a bonus action make an attack action, right? Let's see. What we have at 5th level right now is extra attack. And yeah, we have it in here. In addition, whenever you cast a spell, you can maybe make a weapon attack as bonus action. We have it in extra attack. So it's all there. So extra attack is going to give you the option to attack twice. So you can generate at least 2 devilry points at this point. And then later on, you can still, like you can still cast a weapon attack. Or make a weapon attack as bonus action to generate another point after that. I spun it out into Rogue archetype for the Magic Stone subclass. I think I remember like having something like that. Yeah. I want to say that Explosive Gambit touch spell, I want to say that was in the Psychic also. All right, so we're going to do Clim Hazard. I want to even know, is that how they even spell it? Clim Hazard. Oh, it's spelled. Oh man. Okay. So multiple characters have had this feature. It started in Final Fantasy VII as a limit break for Cloud Strife. And you learned it after you learned Blade Beam. Which one's Blade Beam? Okay, I might have to. Okay. Hold on. We're gonna need want to make sure I have the right. Limit. There's Blade Beam and Clim Hazard. I want to make sure Clim Hazard was the one that hits multiple enemies. Oh no, Clim Hazard is this one. You stab them and you come down on a, yeah, you just stab them. No, it's Blade Beam. Blade Beam. Okay. That's the one I'm. Is it? Okay, I'm watching because. Yeah. Okay. It's Blade Beam. Clim Hazard is like a stab, and you just like like in a weird way, sure you can a character. Blade Beam is the one. So what Blade Beam is going to do, for those familiar with Final Fantasy VII, Cloud sends out a wave of energy. He slashes in the air, sends out a wave of energy to a creature. He hits them with that beam, and then that beam splinters away out of them and hits like the enemies next to them. The range for these in itself. And then 15 feet. Feet, okay. Static, no, we're gonna go this. Like that. True Strike and Blade Ward as bonus actions for the class. Okay, let's look at what they do. You extend your hand and trace a sigil of warding in the air until the end of your turn. You have resistance against bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage dealt by weapon attacks. That's not bad. Let's see. As a bonus action, that's good. Did they give that to the Earth Genasi? I want to say that's what they did. And then True Strike. Let's go to True Strike. Okay, it's not even on. What? Yeah, I could see that maybe in the Mage Spellbreaker subclass. Because that is how I'm gonna give people like access to cantrips. Is putting them in subclasses. Yeah, we need to fix the. Let me see what True Strike is. This has concentration, right? Concentration. You point a finger at a targeted range. It's an action. Your magic grants you a brief insight into the target's defense on your next turn. You gain advantage on your first attack roll against the target, provided that spell hasn't ended. Yeah, it's concentration. I'll point out that Genasi can only use it as a bonus action with a proficiency bonus limit. Yeah, that is true. Excuse me. Yeah. I think at that point though, like with True Strike, this one I would ignore. Like True Strike, I personally would just ignore, and that's why I actually had to go read it because I never pick it up for anything. But Blade Ward has potential, especially giving that like a bonus action use. That is something we can look at for the subclasses, because that is definitely where I will be putting in features or ways to get cantrips. That is definitely what I want from that. Okay, so this is the range itself. Oh, why did I lowered it without actually go back to page 1? Yeah, True Strike is pretty bad. You brandish your spell's weapon. Okay. And attacking against one creature. Let's make our own True Strike with blackjack and hookers. Oh. Pretty much there's a bunch of issues with True Strike. So what you're doing is you're giving up your action for the turn, and then you have to maintain concentration in order to have advantage on your next attack. That's pretty bad. And yeah, your next attack on your next turn. It's not even the turn. So say hypothetically, right, you were to somehow be able to cast it as a bonus action, the effect doesn't pop off that turn you cast it as a bonus action, because I think it specifically says, right, until you're on your next turn. Yeah, I just don't think True Strike is a good spell, period. Like, you can fix it, but then at that point, it's like, oh, there's other spells you can have that are going to be more effective and give you the same benefits of it, like advantage in some way. And I'm probably doing it in a much more immediate or more effective way. Yeah. Oh, thanks for stopping by. Thank you. Yeah, definitely was a help, as always. Hope you have a good one. All right. So what I'm trying to do for this, for Blade Beam. There's a couple ways we can play this. We can play this as like a really expanded, like booming blade, in a sense. The character is hit in a melee way, in a melee fashion, and then we send 2 beams out, right? All right. So you catch you later, Steven. Thank you for stopping by too. You guys both have a good one. Thank you. Coming by. What Clem Hazard specifically, and I'm looking at it, is like it's a ranged spell attack, ranged melee attack. So I'm wondering. So we're just gonna put down make a sword attack. Yeah, it's pretty much, yeah, that's what it is. Hold on. Okay. Went a little quiet because I'm thinking. I'm a little in the zone right now. Let's pull. Go. Oh. Jesus, why is their website so slow? A little slow. Okay, so what I want to do is, in general, look at damage for the level that I kind of envision this. I don't expect like Blade Beam to be a first level spell, to be honest. We can always look at Booming Blade. Okay, so how does it scale? At 5th level becomes a 2d8 or an extra d8. Okay. On a hit, the target suffers a weapon's attacks normal fix. Takes an additional 1d8 thunder damage. Infuse your creature with the weapon used in the spell's casting and make a melee attack with it against one creature within 15 feet of you. On a hit, the target suffers the weapon's attacks normal effects and takes an additional 1d8 thunder damage. Okay, this is how we also need to look at chain lightning. The reason chain lightning has an effect where you can, after you hit one creature, it hits another one, right? So what I want to do is look at how the wording is for this, because it's kind of what we're doing with blade, this blade beam effect. You're hitting the main target with a blade beam, and then it splits off into hit multiple other targets. This is the first draft of it too. Some things we really need to consider with this and how Blade Beam worked in Final Fantasy VII, that there was a clear attack, I guess. A spell. You fuse your weapon with the another thing we need to look at. Okay, so chain lightning is not good, but there is what is that? It's a second level spell. Let's just go to all spells. Go back to all spells. It's a second level spell where you just throw an item at somebody. So let's go. And I really struggle with actually remembering spell names. Filter spells. Let's go. Oh, here we go. Catapult. Thank you. That's what it is. Catapult. You just chucking stuff. Because I kind of see that with, to be honest, with catapult. What is the second level? I'm gonna get rid of filters. Could have sworn it was second level. Why is catapult not on here? Oh, it's a first level spell. Ooh. Catapult. So Okay. Any straight line up to 50 in a direction. I have. The thunderous energy flies in a straight line up to 50 in the direction you choose, stopping other fan impacts against a solid surface. Okay. If the object would strike a creature, that creature must make a dexterity saving throw. If the object would strike a creature, that creature must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, dissipate. Cool. All right, this is a general idea. Oh, let's see what Steel Wind Strike. Steel Wind Strike. That is a good question. Steel Wind Strike will probably be on the the spell list. I'm gonna be honest. Look at Steel Wind. Not Steel Wing. Steel Wind. Steel Wind Strike will probably be on the spell list, to be honest. It's probably going to be less powerful. Steel Wind Strike isn't going to come on until... Let's see. Let's look at our features. Steel Wind Strike is not going to come on until 17th level for this class. So we need to make it less powerful. So yeah. So this is going to be something along the lines like you can do at lower levels. Maybe like this. Uh, when you cast a spell using a spell slot of 3rd level or higher, an additional wave of thunder's energy emits. Is that the correct word? Emits? When you cast a spell using a spell slot of 3rd level or higher, an additional wave of thunder's energy emits from the target, and the damage increases by 1d8 for each slot level above the second. Second level evocation spell. All right, give me a sec. I need to answer my phone. Alrighty. The wife called. Okay, so yeah, this is where we're at with this one, Blade Beam. Let me move this out of the way. I think this is way too chunky and big. I will definitely. There's that. Okay. So you infuse your weapon using the spell's casting and make a spell attack with it against one creature within 15 feet of you. On a hit, the target suffers the weapon's attack normals. The weapon attacks normal effects and takes an additional 2d8 thunder damage. The thunderous energy flies in a straight line up to 15 feet in the direction of you choose, stopping early if it impacts against a solid surface. If the object will strike a creature, that creature must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the thunderous energy strikes the object and dissipates. When the thunderous energy strikes something, what it strikes takes 3d8 bludgeoning damage. When you cast this spell using a spell slot of 3rd level or higher, an additional wave of thunderous energy emits from the target, and the damage increases by 1d8 for each slot level above second. I will probably put it up in the Dungeoneers Pack Discord in the homebrew area for critique or to help clear up the language, because I definitely think this needs to get cleaned up to be more effective in like what I'm attempting to do. I think it does have a little bit of like puzzly word soupish going on with it. Limb Hazard is a Shoryuken feature. An arc. Another one I want to do is an arc strike. So with this one, hold on. Arc strike. First level evocation. I did that right. All right. So, what we're gonna do, arc strike for this. I want to be able to have this character hit 3 people in front of it, like in a arc movement. One action. Elf. 5 feet on this one. We're going to be doing this. Instantaneous. I don't think this was going to have like a higher level scaling. That's, I'll get a cool last name for this one, but your standard, like, you see this AoE kind of attack where they plunge the weapon into the ground and it creates like an AoE kind of a feature. Definitely gonna do that. Okay. Hold on. I want to change the music. Let's see. What do we got? Try some synthwave. Ominous. Finish some synthwave. All right. Arc Strike. Yeah. Maybe Meteor Strike. The thing with the meteor has the fantasy like you calling a meteor down and bringing it down. What I'm trying to do is like, no, you're actually just plunging either your big old weapon, your sword, something into the ground, and then it just creates like a radius. I would show you, but I probably would get EMC aid because there is a feature like this for the Dark Knight class for Final Fantasy XIV. They have an AoE ability that they plunge their big old sword into the ground and boom, just hits everything in it. Yeah, my back has been killing me. I need to stand up. Move my standing desk. Standing mode. It has starting to become a bit. So yeah, let's see. For Arc Strike, the biggest thing is like, okay, well, how do we... Okay. Casting. On a hit, the target suffers the weapon attack's normal effects. Okay. How do we differentiate this from something like yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think. How do we do this? How would we do this properly? So we're going to do D&D Beyond, because this is pretty much like a mega cleave is the way I see this feature. So what actually I want to do is we're actually going to go look at the D&D playtest. We'll look at the weapons thing. I want to see how they do the cleave, because you're pretty much cleaving into... Oh my god, I hate this. Hate this so much. Oh, cleave. So what cleave does is, if you hit a creature with a melee attack using this weapon, you can make an attack roll with the weapon attack against a second creature within 5 feet of the first. As also within your reach. Okay. So the way this one handles it, what it looks like. Cleave is just if you hit a creature with a melee attack using this weapon, you can make an attack roll with the weapon against a second creature within 5 feet of the first half. Within 5 feet of the first, that is also within your reach. On a hit, the second creature takes the weapon damage, but don't add your ability modifier to that damage unless the modifier is negative. Okay, you brandish the weapon using the spell's casting and make a melee attack with it against one creature within 5 feet of you. On a hit, the target suffers the weapon attacks normal effects and is dealt an extra 1d8. 1d8 kind of energy. Lightning, thunder, damage. Two creatures. Two creatures within 5 feet of the first that are also within your reach must make a on a failure, right? Is it on a failure? On a failed save. Okay, I'm trying to get this. Two creatures within 5 feet of the first that are also within your reach must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the creatures take the creatures take okay, there's that. It would be an AoE attack. That is the plunge weapon into the ground is an AoE radius attack. Your typical like anime, like, oh, I'm pretty much plunging my weapon into the ground to create like a shock wave, energy wave. Yeah, that's the intention. Arc strike, I'm trying to do like this, like a super cleave where you can hit like 3 creatures at once. This is probably worded freaking terribly. You brandish your weapon used in the spell's casting and make a melee attack with it against 1 creature within 5 feet of you. On a hit, the target suffers the weapon attacks normal effects and is dealt an extra 1d8 lightning damage. 2 creatures within 5 feet of the first that are also within your reach must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the creatures take the weapon's damage but don't add your melee modifier to that damage unless that modifier is negative. When you cast a spell using a second level higher, just 1d8. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing for Arc Strike. Oh, that is true. Yeah, I just don't want it to hit like a second target. I wanted to hit like multiple targets, right? I want to hit at least 2 other ones. But I completely forgot about Green Flame Blade. All right, let's look at Green Flame Blade. Okay, so the fire just leaps to your spell. Okay, so it automatically just leaps. Okay. Yeah, I think we're okay with this one. Green Flame Blade just targets a second person like the fire emits. What we can do is potentially remove a failed state to make it here and just make like, yeah, you're automatically hitting multiple targets. That can be a thing. Okay, what I want to do is I want to look at some AoE spells and how they word it, but okay, Dark Knight, FF14 abilities. I just want to see what they name their AoE attack. That'd be Super Unleash, Grit, Soldier, Blood Weapon, Shadow Wall, Stalwart Soul, Edge of Darkness, Dark Mind, Salted Earth. I think that's what it is. Earth. Oh, we're gonna have to go to YouTube. See if I can look at. You guys will not be able to see this. I'm not trying to get DMCA'd. Okay, this. Oh my god. Useless. It doesn't. Okay. Give me a sec. Want to run to the restroom really quick. Too much water again. Be right. Alrighty, we are back. Changing back to sit mode. Let's do this. Okay. Okay. Yo, what's going on, man? Blight Ball. Or you could have it be a set of squares in an area within 15 feet of the character, or 5 feet of the character. Yeah, sure. The only thing is, like, okay, so one thing to notice with 5e, I guess when it comes to like how targeting works, they never say squares. It's always in measures of feet. So that's just a thing to understand. It's always in measures of feet. Oh, these. Well, what's the name of this? What's the name of this ability, man? Oh my god, the job action. What person does not have? Oh, that's. I don't want to know the removed abilities. Oh my god. So here we go. This person has ability overview. Okay, Edge of Shadow. Okay, cool. Can I see the okay. Yeah, bro. Okay. Okay, that's it's this one. It is called. Where are you at? Is it Grit? It's release Grit, Unleash, Life and Strike. Okay. Blood Weapon, Star Wars Soul Edge, Dark Mind, Salted Earth. Let's see, Dark Knight, Salted Earth. Just wanted to see what they name it because it's like Salted Earth, Image. Okay. I'm thinking of the L shape from the Tetris area effect. Edgy Magerson. Okay. Okay, so we're just trying to do like some AoE one. Okay, we still have. Okay. What are we trying to do? It's not supposed. The closest thing I can think about is like, yeah, you're gonna go Akira. Go all Akira on this guy and go boom, just blow up. We going Palpatine with this. The Arc Strike, it definitely is a better name, but it's pretty much a I know you've seen it. I don't know if they have it in Smite, but it's in a lot of MMOs and stuff. It's like you just give your frontliner an ability to hit multiple targets, so like pretty much a super cleave. That's the intended thing. Just with a magical flare on it. It's like, yeah, you're striking multiple creatures with a single attack. But the one I'm trying to go for right now is at least put the idea for a AoE blast. Get rid of that. Okay, so what level did we get AoE kind of like spells? See. Um. Let's see. I'm just trying to see where kind of AoEs start at. Rend reality. Ooh. Or just call it Tetsuo and call it a day. I know. That'd be sick. Oh, I've been wanting to sit down. I've been really wanting to sit down and rewatch Akira and give it like an actually good go. I've been watching too much like YouTube video essays on it, mainly focusing on the art and the overall animation and the level of detail that it had. So I know my brother has a copy, so I'll probably just go borrow it, rewatch it. Yeah. Ooh, Zephyr Strike. Ooh, man, the problem with a lot of the 5e melee, the leveled melee spells, is that the fact that they have to have concentration on them. Like Wrathful Smite, Thunder Smite would be a lot more effective if they just did it. Like you hit with it and like that is the attack. Oh, okay. I guess we'll look at. I'm just trying to find like an AoE ability. Because I'm trying to think. Is there actual AoE? I know we have like area control abilities like darkness and stuff, but is there anything centered on the person, the caster, that just like they just blow up stuff? Or I think I'm just missing it right now because I'm pretty sure there is destructive. Oh, here we go. There we go. Thank you. That definitely helps. Destructive Wave. That's a 5th level spell. Okay, we'll get access to this. Oh, okay. You strike the ground, creating a burst of divine energy that ripples outward from you. Each creature you choose within 30 feet of you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 5d6 thunder damage, as well as 5d6 radiant or necrotic damage, and be knocked prone. A creature that succeeds on the saving throw takes half. Okay, I don't have to do AoE blast because it's already there. Sick. That's what this described. That's exactly what I wanted. Destructive Wave. Thunder Wave. Yeah, there we go. Thunder Wave. That's true. All the auras. Oh. Wave of Mutilation. Ooh. Ooh. There's a magic card too. I think it's called Killing Wave. MTG. Yeah, Killing Wave is another. For each creature, its controller sacrifices it unless he or she pays X life. By the Pixie. Wave of Mutilation. Ooh. Okay. I'm reading the flavor text. Let me see. I'll bring it up. Come on. Okay. You guys see the flavor text? Let me zoom it. Flavor text for this card, Killing Wave. I come looking for demons and I find a plane full of angels. I hate angels. So this is from the Innistrad set, where the plane isn't full of angels, but angels are a lot more effective in this plane since Innistrad is the stand-in Gothic horror setting. So for Magic the Gathering, this is pretty much your Ravenloft. This is your Ravenloft setting, but angels play a major part in the worship and pretty much being the saviors of the setting, at least at this point in the story for this. Until the next time they visit Innistrad, it turns into Eldritch horror because they're what's the character Emrakul, which is their Cthulhu-esque sort of being, is starting to corrupt the plane, and then the angels get corrupted too. So okay, we're gonna do an AoE wave spell. Thunder wave. I just don't want it to be straight damage, so we need to do something. Thunder wave knocks everybody on their ass. So maybe we can do some sort of like a debuff effect, right? The Promised End, if you don't have a capstone name, the Promised End is absolutely sick and steel worthy. This sounds like, is it MTG or is it? Oh, okay, actually that's Emrakul. Yeah, the Promised End. And there's. Okay, I was like, why does it sound like Final Fantasy? But no, it is. That is true. The Promised End. Ooh. Emrakul. Wave mutilation. Wave mutilation. Where do we have? We have like an Arc Strike. We'll get a cooler name. Blade Beam. This is straight out of Final Fantasy. Wave of mutilation. Can we? Yeah. Oh. That is. Find it. Charm, deafen. Trying to think, what can we do? Dreadquake will probably work for an AoE debuff. What about Unleash? It's the same name. Oh, Unleash is Wave of Mutilation. Unleash. Dreadquake sounds cool. So what I'm also trying to do is like think of punish friendship. Because obviously for me it's like, okay, these are gonna go on the Dreadnought's spell list, but have these spells also open up to like other classes if you want to give this to other classes. Have at it, like to have at it too. So everlasting dark. So for me it's like, okay, what kind of, if we're gonna add in another wave spell, so we got Thunder Wave, we have Destructive Wave. Destructive Wave just does like AoE, I hit everything with a shit ton of damage. Thunder Wave does some damage, knocks people on their ass. So what can we do that's either mutilation or like that we sell this outside of like I do AoE damage to everybody, right? If anything, nothing's left to chance. Something like that. An anti-silvery bard spell is probably going to go into the spellbreaker subclass. To be honest, that is very much that class will be designed to just like hate spellcasting. Yeah, anti-silver bard spell, like an anti counter spell, anti like reaction based spells. I definitely want to design that class to kind of like feel like you're fighting mages. That subclass, Thunderstep, but with bleed effect. Yeah, I mean, if you go full Akira with it, create a nuke here somehow. That's essentially what Destructive Wave is. That's the nuke option, and it actually makes sense. That makes a lot of sense when you get it at 5th level, or you get it at 17th level. So for me, it's like, okay, Destructive Wave already kind of has that nuke mentality. Okay, let me see. The only problem with 5e is that they don't have the like a damage over time bleed mechanic, like a consistent bleed. Let me see how yeah, like I like slow draining bleed effects, damage over time stuff. Reduce your hits dice to 0, dealing X damage. Oh my god. Reduce your hit dice to 0, dealing X d10 plus Y damage to everything within 120. Oh god. I like that so much. I like that a lot, actually. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's definitely a 5th level spell. That is something you look at. It was like, I want to do that. Ooh, Tasha's casting brew. Yeah. Looking at how, let's see, Tasha's casting brew. Tasha's casting brew. Okay. Only reason I want to look at this. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. This is something to consider for maybe Sickening Radiance for the nuke mechanic. Ooh. The reason the Tasha's Caustic Brew, now that I'm thinking about this can be for the Blood Reaver subclass. Because this is all a Blood Reaver is what I'm envisioning is like they are vampiric. They're trying to draw the blood out of people as possibly as a way to self-heal, but also do damage over time. And that's what I was thinking too. Maybe Wave of Mutilation could play into that a little bit, but no, like we're gonna go full Tetsuo nuke effect. Tetsuo nuke effect. Up. Sickening Radiance. Range. Okay. Causing exhaustion. Ooh. What's going on, Gorb? There's a relevant Ristic Studies video. Is that the one he's talking about? Yeah, the Wrath of God video. Yeah, I saw it pop up. I haven't actually sat down and watched it. Yeah, I think it's like it's discussing how the apocalypse looks in MTG and how it's kind of changed. Okay, so Wave of Mutilation. This I don't think it's. Would it be Evocation? Taking Radiance, what kind of spell? It is Evocation. So Evocation. We got a lot of Evocation spells on this. Evocation, 1 action, range. A Stack of Annihilation. Oh, thanks, Gorb. Yeah, this class is meant to fulfill that Dark Knight, Black Knight, anti-hero-esque, but still part of the team fantasy. Weaponizing forbidden power to soup up your martial capabilities. The closest thing we have to it in 5e currently is probably Hexblade Warlock, but it doesn't do that heavily armored. Doesn't really live out that heavily armored fantasy, but and then also like Conquest Paladin, but it's still within the realm of like divine power. So the only way you can really play something like this is a multi-class between Warlock and Paladin, or like Warlock and Fighter. Would something like Damnation be a cool ability or spell for Dreadnought? That's pretty much what we're building right now. We're building this like a Apocalypse Wave-esque feature, or the spell. Wave of Mutilation. Let's see, duration. I'm wondering though. I'm wondering if this should be something like should it be a concentration spell, or should it just be like it's a one shot? This is, we do this thing, everybody affected in it is affected by this spell that gets caught in it, right? So let's see, wave duration. Okay. You go with the second one, meaning concentration, or just like it's a one shot and done, and you do this and bam. One and done. Okay. You plunge your weapon into the ground and unleash your destructive force within. Put it on you. Oh, I feel that. Well, as a DM, you can always just like make an NPC that fights against players. That's these classes too. That's always an option, so you get to try it out. I'm very lucky that I tend to be a PC more than a DM. We have we have at least 3 DMs at the table. I have 4 now, between me, my cousin, and my 2 other buddies. So we kind of rotate. Right now, my cousin is a new DM, so he's running Pathfinder for us. Prior to that, another buddy of mine was running a Forgotten Realms or high level game, and before that I was running Descent into Avernus. So we rotate depending on either who feels like running a game or who wants to try out a new system. So one of my buddies has offered to run Starfinder because he's familiar with it. So I think after our Eberron game, we might play some Starfinder, do some sci-fi stuff. And then I guess PaizoCon's this weekend, right? This is going on. And they announced, what did they announce? They announced a new Starfinder book. They showed off the cover, and on the cover is a big old mech fighting a kaiju. So I sent it to my play group, and I was like, hey, you guys want to play Gundam Wing? Pacific Rim? King of Monsters? Like, do you guys want to play this? I'm down. I just like thing I want to look into it though is like, is everybody gonna be in one giant mecha like Power Rangers, or everybody gonna get their own mech, kind of like Gundam Wing? Because then if it's more like Power Rangers, we all like are in a mech. I'm gonna just tell my group, okay, when we make our minis, we all have to have matching uniforms, just different colors. Like everybody needs to pick a color, but we all have to be matching. But if it's more like everybody has their own mech, and I'm like, okay, go have at it. I've been trying to convince them actually to play Lancer, but not all of them are actually. They're not all into the mecha stuff. But if it's like Power Ranger-esque, they're a little bit more like, oh, this sounds cool. You infuse your weapon. Okay. Wave of mutilation. Infuse your weapon with your life force and plunge it into the ground and unleash a destructive force within. Okay. Oh, we're gonna go nuts. Well, let's just go big. Omega bomb. Infuse your weapon within your life force and plunge it into the ground and unleash a destructive force within 120 feet, 120 foot radius sphere centered on you. You reduce your hit dice to 0. Okay. What did Taryn put? Taryn put dealing X D10 plus Y damage to everything within 120 feet. So we're scale with that plus Y damage. Let's see. Yeah. So we're gonna scale that. I'm trying to think, okay, what kind of damage is this? This is gonna be force damage. Must make a Constitution saving throw on a failed save. Infuse your force and plunge your ground and unleash a destructive force with an. Infusing. Blueberry damage, yeah. On a failed save. Yeah. Also creatures caught in the mess will make a Constitution saving throw, or okay. Blueberry damage, I believe the blueberry dragon of the hill. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that came out. Okay. Full damage. Suffer 1 level of exhaustion. Excuse me. Okay. Just looking up spells really quick. Okay, so cool damage, suffer 1 level of exhaustion. Oh, thunder. We'll do thunder damage. Go destruct. Thunder damage. Okay. Force. Or at least resisted damage type. This force. Okay, that's what I'm looking at right now. Knocked on their ass. They suffer exhaustion. You cannot cast it. Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah. This is. Okay. There we go. That's where we're at. We got 3 spells. May come up with more. May come up with more for this. All right. So okay, we got some stuff. Then we got the 3 ideas for spells. All right, we got Blade Beam, straight out of Final Fantasy VII. An Arc Strike, which will probably get a cooler name. Wave of Mutilation, which is a cool name. I just gotta see how like that's actually written. Duration, instantaneous. Instantaneous. Go. Disjunction. I have to look that up. I don't. I'd have to look it up and see like what exactly that did. Okay. Okay. Oh man. Going back to just seeing if we can name. What can we name, like group these subclasses together? Oh, okay. Mage's Distinction takes away a spellcasting ability to cast spells and deals them a bunch of damage. It's from 3.5 and older edition. Okay. Probably not that severe, to be honest. I think one of the problems in general, like in terms of fun for 5e, is spells like Silvery Barbs and Counterspell and Shield to some extent are kind of just like they're not fun to play against or fun to be like used again on both sides of the table. Like players don't like getting hit with that stuff, and then for a DM who's attempting to play in it, like they're trying to create a very cinematic fight scene, and to kind of have it just blank by spells like that too. It's just in general, those are like no fun spells. So like just shutting down, completely just shutting everything down, isn't really something I would like to design for, because I don't like playing. So when in terms of like mage killer or like mage killer subclass spellbreaker, what I'm gonna be looking for is not ways to like 100% like say you're not casting spells, but make it so the spellcaster has more difficulty to cast spells, but they're not shut out of like doing what they're wanting to do. Like breaking concentration, etc. Mm-hmm. Right. There we go. Sure. Occulting. Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm racking my brain. I'm like, okay, we can do subclasses. Look, I don't want to just sit here and be like, oh, I'm gonna just sit here and think you guys don't see anything. So I think I'm gonna call it now. Let it rest. I do got to get some video editing done. So my plan is maybe Tuesday or Wednesday I'll have a video. Oh, okay. Tuesday or Thursday have a video out regarding Tales of the Valiant for those that didn't miss the live stream last Wednesday. This Wednesday, I'm gonna look at something or play something, or maybe come back to just designing Dreadnought. Well, who knows? We'll do that. But yeah, let's see what else is coming up. Trying to think, what else is coming up this week? I don't think that's it. I think Wednesday and next Sunday we'll be having streams still, and then the following week we still be having streams, but also I will be on Kenup's channel. I will be playing in a Cypher System Cyberpunk game alongside other channels like Wild World Builder and Nerd Immersion. So I will be joining them to be trying out the Cypher System. Never played it before. Super excited. Looks awesome. Yeah, Friday streams will start coming online towards the end of June. There's just a lot going on with work and everything, just in general, what I have going on, to make sure that I can actually do that consistently. But also, when that happens, I got some video games I want to be playing. Final Fantasy 16 comes out around that time, so I'll definitely be taking breaks from design and looking at other games to be playing some video games, so mainly RPG games that can hopefully inspire us to make more cool shit for 5e if we continue still making stuff for 5e or other systems. We're going to be doing that too. I know Diablo 4 comes out, but I just dropped $75 for Final Fantasy 16 because the gaming industry is just as greedy as everybody else right now and price hiking the hell out of everything for some reason. But they still aren't paying their developers, their people that work on these games money. And instead it's still just frustrating. It's like, yes, you're going to charge more for games, but you're not going to pay the people that make the games better. It's not going to go to them. Oh, I'm down to try some Barony. I'm down to do that. Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know, man. My problem with my problem with Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild is that they don't feel like Zelda to me. They're too open world, and you kind of have to get lost and figure things out. And I'm a dummy and kind of like to be told where I need to go. Yeah, and yeah, the next D&D books are the same price as a double AAA game. Yeah, like, and then yeah, and even then this goes back to like the price hiking even for TTRPGs for 5e too. It's like D&D's price hiking these games books to supplement the game, but none of that money is going to go back into paying the designers paying them better, and or to hire more people to create more content for those books. So it's like, why are we increasing the prices for a false inflation that is pretty much was created to maintain COVID profits? Like that's the reality of it. Like, is that all really what we're gonna do? Because like I will agree to a price hike if you're gonna be paying your staff better, hire more people to support these games and create content for whether it's a video game or for 5e D&D. But if you're not gonna do that and you're just, Bob Hasbro and Jimmy Coast are just gonna buy another yacht, like, come on, man. That's not, I'm not, I don't want to pay more for that. I still want to see the warehouse full of their books they haven't sold. Yeah, they're still I've seen it. I've seen that picture. Yeah, they have a lot of books that didn't get sold. Some of them should have been sold, like they have a lot of Radiant Citadel books sitting in a warehouse, unfortunately. And that's a book that should have been sold. It's probably one of their better books that they've released within the last 2 years. A lot of love and care into that book. But then you get bombs like Spelljammer that got no content and is still putting racist crap in their book. Like, if I'm gonna pay an extra 10 to 20 bucks for a book, I hope we get more content in it, and then you can spend an extra cash to hire a sensitivity reader, so or racist depictions aren't put into your book. Bare minimum. That's stuff they should be doing already. But yeah, so rant aside, we're going to be playing a little bit more games. We'll be playing Final Fantasy 16 this coming month. I'm trying to decide if when I get paid, if I am going to play Diablo 4 because it is a Blizzard game, and I already got burnt by Overwatch 2, so there is also that. So still trying to decide, because Diablo 4 would be pretty good inspiration to play through for the Dreadnought, because it is within that aesthetic, that realm. But for me, it's like, how excited am I going to be for that game? Well, Final Fantasy 16 looks sick, and everybody that's played the little like press demo has said it's pretty awesome. So that's going to be fun to play through. And to be honest, I still have Pokemon. What was the last one that came out? Pokemon Violet that I haven't finished playing through. So I'm down to go finish playing that on stream too. There's also like a billion that do the Diablo thing. Yeah, there was an MMO one that I played for a bit that came out. That was published by Amazon, and then I kind of just stopped playing it because I got bored. I'm still playing Honkai Star Rail. I am hooked on that waifu game. Yep, so there's that. So yeah, so I'll be back for sure this coming Wednesday. I'm gonna spend all day tomorrow editing last Wednesday's stream. So if you missed Tales of the Valiant discussion, you'll definitely be seeing that. And me and the chat had some stuff to say about that one. Hopefully Stream Elements will fix itself. If not, we're gonna be sticking with this YouTube chat within the chat, because yeah, I don't know what Stream Elements busted on that last stream out of nowhere. Next Sunday for sure we'll be back on some more Dreadnought. Maybe this Wednesday we'll be on some more Dreadnought, and then I actually need to schedule a podcast now that I think about it for June. So I need to get working on that. So yeah, lots of fun stuff coming up within this month. So yeah, hope you guys are looking forward to it. If you guys haven't checked out the latest video, or I discuss my first impressions regarding Pathfinder 2nd Edition, if you're curious about Pathfinder, I would definitely check that out, especially for somebody who is converting and has jumped over from 5e into Pathfinder for a regular session game. If you're interested and curious about what Pathfinder 2nd Edition has to offer, go check it out. Yeah. Until next time, thank you guys for stopping by, helping out with. We got some cool spells brewing for this class. Probably get a couple more anime-esque spells in here to help fill out this class, and then maybe we'll start working on the rest of the class progression, or at least a subclass, to kind of get an idea. I haven't talked with Paizo yet. I need to go reach out to them, but I haven't done it yet. It's trying to figure out how far down the rabbit hole of Pathfinder I really want to go. I want to get a good understanding of the game. So that is one thing I want to do. Figure out how I really want to go about talking about the game, I guess. So I can in a not so much an authoritative manner either, but also don't want to fall into the this is how you make this character build. Let's talk about the optimization of XYZ class. Kind of over that kind of discussion. Can we send in some suggestions for the stuff for the Dreadnought in the comments? Yes, you very much so. You can do that. Also, I highly recommend coming to the Dungeoneers Pack Discord. There's a link to the Discord in the description, and below there is a section there for the Dreadnought. I have a section in there, or like a little mini forum that is perfectly open for folks to talk and discuss stuff in there about this class, and also one for the Luchador if people have questions or suggestions and whatnot regarding that class too. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need to reach out to Aaron. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to go about covering Pathfinder. So there's a lot more knobs to turn with that game. So I know people are going to be a little bit more quick to like really go in on rules, and if you got rules wrong. So yeah, there's that. All right, but other than that, until next time, guys, I will see you guys Wednesday. We'll be doing something. See how I feel. I might burn myself out on editing, and we might just play some games. So until then, you guys take care and have a good one.